Alright, so we're going to try to use StatCrunch here. So how to use it, first of all, you know, up in the upper corner, up in the upper left-hand corner is where, of the StatCrunch website, is where you enter your login name, your StatCrunch ID that is, and your password. And we click sign in. It didn't like that for some reason. It's making me get on twice here, so let me see if doing it again will get me on. Yes, it did. Don't know why it didn't like it the first time. Anyway, so I've got some options. And the first one that's going to be useful for us here is to join a group. Now, to get to groups, you see this thing called My Groups. We're going to use that later. Where I want you to go is up here toward the top, toward Explore. When you click on Explore, it will give you several options. One of them is Groups. And then over on the right-hand side, or left-hand side, my other right, just in this search bar here, type in MCC down over on this left-hand upper corner and click search, and you'll see one group and you'll have my picture on it, and it will be MCC Stat 316. And so what you do is you click on the hypertext right next to that, and right here where mine says leave this group, because I am a member of this group, you will have an opportunity to join this group. And so what I'd like you to do is click on join this group. Okay? When you go back after joining this group to my StatCrunch and then to my groups, this group will be there. In fact, this is there twice for me because I'm both the administrator and a user of this group. Now we want to get data. Okay, so getting data from this group. Let's just go into the group and you'll see this set of ideas here. And the one we want to deal with first is, I think I'm going to have us deal in class with responses to shopping online. And then the other one, so it's the second item that we'll be using for an example. And here we have a data set that was generated by one of those StatCrunch questionnaires that they have at the beginning of, when you first get onto the site. And so what they ask is a bunch of questions about what percentage of your shopping you did online. That's the data in this column called percent. Did you shop more or less or about the same online as you did the previous year? So there's more or less and the same as the second variable. How old are you? They gave an answer. That was the third variable. The fourth variable was your gender. This is going to be either male or female. I don't think anyone put neither or both on this particular survey. Okay, so now that we've got this data, we see we have a couple of qualitative variables, categorical variables, namely gender, and this one called compare, where they say, yeah, we did it less, more, or about the same as last year. We have two quantitative variables, one of them called percent, the percentage of online shopping they did, and one of them called age, how old the respondent was. Okay? So we want to do some of these various graphics we want to do. Now you'll see there is a button here, the second from the end, called graphics. When we click on it, it gives us a whole bunch of options. And the first option was the one we did last night that I want to look at, is the histogram. So we click on histogram, and momentarily it should come up. Yes, there's this little pop-up window. And so we have some columns, and apparently only two are showing up because only two of these columns contain what the computer might even think are quantitative data, and a histogram's got to be of quantitative data. We're going to do a histogram of the ages of respondents just for fun. So we're going to select the variable called age, and I'm going to ignore these two options for the moment. The next, I'm going to click on the next button here, and we have the type of histogram. You could have a relative frequency or a frequency histogram, or we'll also do something called a density histogram. We'll keep it at a frequency histogram. We aren't going to mess with the bin width and the start bins ideas, we're just going to let it generate its own, okay, for this first time. Overlay density is going to be something you might want to do later when we learn a little bit about densities, but for right now we're not going to. We're not going to mess with the titles and axes at this time. Later on I'll show you how to do these things here. And then it was the graph layout, that's all fine, leave it the way it is. You click on Create Graph, and there comes this histogram of the data, okay? So the command found under graphics is histogram. Graphics and histogram. Okay? So that's how to get a histogram. The next type of chart I want to talk about is a pie chart. Now a pie chart is a chart we do of qualitative data, of categorical data. So we're going to go here, and the second item is a bar chart. And the bar chart, or the pie chart, and the pie chart is, I'm going to go with data, so we're going to base these two commands. One is if you have a frequency table already set up. One of these, that's the one with summary. The other with data is when we've got raw data, and that's what we've got here, is we've got a bunch of raw data. We're going to do a histogram of the variable called compare. That is, what fraction of the people who answered said they shopped less online, what fraction of the people said they shopped more online, what fraction of the people, the respondents, said they shop about the same online. Okay, so now we hit the next button. Display a count and a percentage in here. This is all looking good. This is looking good. This is looking good. Let's click on Create Graph and see what happens. And there, this is good. I personally wish they'd put those percentages inside the slices. I don't know if there's an option to do that or not. The actual percentages are listed in this legend to the right of the pie chart. But it's not bad. You can see the largest slice of people, the majority of them, said they spent more online this year than last. And then two roughly equal slices said they were about the same or less. Okay, the less seems to be the smallest slice. Okay, so that is a pie chart of data.